Not just good men, great men. How many times here has everyone driven past the Powell farm and thought, geez, Powell's got some grass? It wasn't luck the farm performed well. A sharp business mind, Poe had every acquisition, every strategy, every decision meticulously researched, compared and costed, and probably on a spreadsheet. Poe was an early adopter of new technologies, innovations and best practice. Poe and Val had built one of the first rotary dairies in the district and were also early to invest in drainage. As Andy's responsibilities and experience increased, he started making his own mark on the farm, focusing on animal health and growing his calves out, increasing the farm's grass production and growing the herd size. He'd been the driving force behind the latest investment in new technologies. Mentored by Poe, Andy had stepped up, Poe had stepped back, and Warraboon was now being managed by its third generation. The loss of Andy and Ross to the dairy farming industry is significant, and not only because they were excellent farmers, not only because they were passionate about farming, not only because they shared a vision for what they wanted their farm and the industry to look like in the next 5, 10 or 20 years, and not only because their working relationship was more like best mates than a typical father-son relationship. Their loss is significant because, like in every other aspect of their lives, they gave back. Ross was a founding member of the Port Campbell Dairy Discussion Group. The group has now been running for more than 50 years. Poe has been a constant participant the entire time, and still after all these years, he's maintained his interest in the new technologies, new techniques, best practice, sharing of information, and the sharing of experience between farmers. Andy, in his early 20s, became leader of the group, a position he maintained for the best part of 10 years. Andy put a lot of time and effort into organising the meetings. His passion for new information, combined with the confidence to be out the front, made him a natural fit for the role. A role he always performed with that big smile, even if we were ribbing about his short shorts, being 15 minutes late, or how his silage got rained on again. Andy was a passionate advocate for discussion groups. Following a change in funding and support models, Andy worked tirelessly for nearly 2 years, making countless phone calls, emails, meetings and negotiations. He took his concerns all the way to the Managing Director of Dairy Australia, who was methodical, tenacious and relentless, and finally secured an outcome satisfactory to all parties. Andy and Poe were big on sharing information, and given their farm's performance, attention to details and meticulous records, they were regular hosts for Westpick field days, discussion groups, school groups and TAFE students. Andy also found himself being a regular presenter at the school's Timboon Agricultural Project. He believed strongly that the project's practical-based application of maths and science would hopefully encourage youth to stay local and consider a career in not just farming but in wider agricultural industries. In recognition for all Andy's contribution to his industry and his community, he received the 2017 Westvic Young Farm Leader of the Year award, an award he would have been a worthy recipient of several times over. Andy took great pleasure in the simple things we farmers often take for granted. His passion for farming and his stock was clear for all to see, and not just because the main road runs right through the middle of the farm, but because of the mountain of Snapchats he took every day. Whether it be a newborn calf, heifers running onto a fresh strip of grass, the last windrow of silage to bale, a picturesque sunrise, Amber bringing him lunch, or maybe it was his favourite cow getting scratched behind the ear. No matter what he sent you, you got the feeling there is no place you'd rather be. Now here's a short clip made for his Young Farm Leader Award, showcasing Andy's passion and drive in his own words.
My name's Andrew Powell. I'm a farmer in Cooramundra, third generation dairy farm. We've got a really strong focus on herd health on the farm, and people on our farm go through an apprenticeship on the farm and traineeship, so they're not just learning what I do on the farm, they're learning what other people are, what other skills they can get. Some of my achievements that I'm really proud of over the last few years is I love walking our discussion group. The 50th anniversary was a massive thing for the group. The networking that young farmers can, in the knowledge that they can gain from talking to the older farmers, and having really in-depth talks about different things and why you do different things different ways. So that communication that happens from the old farmers to the newer farmers is really important. There's a good saying that you never want to reinvent the wheel, because a lot of things that have been done in the farming industry have been done before, and that's why discussion groups are a fantastic way for those informations to be passed down through the industry. The other really strong passion I have is the TAP program in Timboon. I get a lot back from the time we put in there. Kids make their mind up what they want to do at a young age in primary school. There's a lot of studies that is behind that thinking. And so if I can help persuade just one kid to get involved in agriculture and find not just if it's dairy farming, but in agronomy as a vet, well, I see that as a massive benefit for the industry going forward.
The discussion group will miss Andy's warmth, passion and big cheesy smile, and will also miss Poe's insight, wisdom and advice. Our industry has lost two of its greatest ambassadors and one of its brightest shining lights. Andy and Poe, I will miss your friendship.